Well, that was scary. So I'm driving to see my kid play tennis, and I'm going down this road here in North Georgia, and in front of me, a girl, I didn't know it was a girl, turns left against an oncoming pickup truck with a trailer. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? And then boom, boom, right in front of me, dude. I mean, it's like a premonition. I was like, is that girl going, or is that person going left, going left? And I said, she is. And the guy's, anyway, so he hits this freaking tree on the side of the road. I jump out, I go to the side, jump out of my car, and she's like, opening the door. And she's like, I was like, holy crap. I said, are you okay? Are you okay? And she's like, the airbag came up, and she's just like, I was like, are you okay? She was like, yeah. She got out of the car. She's walking, no blood or anything. And she's like, just in daze. I said, you're okay. You're okay. Just get off. Let's get off the side of the road. Let's get to the side of the road. Let's get to the side of the road. And then there's an old man driving this pickup truck with a trailer, and he's just like, he's dazed. But thankfully, he was okay too. And the girl starts crying. Like, I'm sorry. I said, it's okay. It's okay. Just get this. I mean, I feel like crying. I think about it because she was so just despondent. I said, it's okay. Just get to the side of the road. And I don't know CPR or anything like that. If I knew how to do it, I wouldn't even know where to begin. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the point being was, when you're taking a left against traffic, this is what I tell my kids. I said, that's the most dangerous thing there is. Because you don't just go left. You're still going forward and left while the momentum of the guy coming is still, you're moving into him at the same time. So he's going like this, and you're still going into him. And I tell you that the thing with young drivers is they don't realize how fast the guy is coming while you're turning left. I even make a mistake like that on occasion too. You're like, it's not even depth perception so much. It's just you forget how fast the space closes when you're kind of both going towards each other. And that was bad. And they're all both okay, thankfully. And I stayed there to recall 911 and all that. But anyway, the point being, it always reminds me of just how fragile your life is, dude. If we just look here, motor vehicle fatality rates in the U.S. by year, and it's gone down significantly, and that's great. But you still see, even right now, as of 2021, with 13 deaths per 100,000, I think it's 100,000 people, 13 deaths per 100,000 population. I mean, that's 13 people who got in the car out of 100,000 people. So Atlanta's got 700,000 people in the city of Atlanta. I'm not in Atlanta. Well, let's just look at Fulton County, for instance. Here in Fulton County, Georgia, we got 1 million people. All right, so if we have 13 deaths per 100,000, that means 13 times a million people. 100. That's 13 times 10, right? Because 100,000, 10 times a million. That's 13. That's 130 people who lived in Georgia, in Fulton County, Georgia, got in their car that day and never came back. And that's just the deaths. How many traffic accidents? Hard to kind of find that number, so I'm not going to bother that much with it, but you get the gist. Anyway, so a lot of people are maimed and a lot of people die because of traffic accidents in the United States. People who had no clue that their card was turned. No clue at all. People thought they're just going to the gym, going to work, going to the freaking baseball game. People who just thought they're going out to get some pizza. 1.6 million caused injuries in the U.S. in 2020, and number 3.6 million caused property damage. The United States among the countries with the highest rate of traffic-related fatalities per 1 million population. I mean, you just don't know when your time's up, dude. And just think if you're, I can't think, I mean, there's many worse ways to go. So this being somewhat hyperbolic. Just imagine though, you're driving to your crappy old job, and you get killed on the way to a job that you hate anyway. Is there any worse way to go? Yes, but that's pretty bad too. You're like, dude, I can't do this. I'm going to do it for one more year, just one more year, so I can make the extra $25,000 bonus at the end of February. Or you get injured, or dude, I mean, what if you were driving to your crappy old job just one more year and you got freaking T-boned? Let's just say you walk away. You're hurt, but you're not dead. What's the likelihood you're going to go back to the crap? You're probably going to sit there and say, life's too short for this crap. Anyway, the point being is it can go like that. You don't know when the time is coming. You don't. I don't, you don't. It's sad, man, to think about people wasting their lives in a crappy old job. I was talking to people today from Kansas, and I thought they're from Missouri, but they're near Kansas City, but they're actually from Kansas City, Kansas, which is where my granddad was born. Anyway, and they're I was talking about this client I had from like Orange County or something like that in California. She worked in Long Beach, if memory serves, and she lived, I don't know, like an hour and a half each way, inland. I don't know where it is. I can't remember. Orange County, Simi Valley, whatever. I'm not familiar with California. I will never be familiar with California. Don't care. I also know she's driving an hour and a half each way in California traffic. Sold her house, quit a crap old job, moved to Springfield, Missouri. Freaking hell of a lot cheaper house. Her commute's 10 minutes each way. The people are better. She's saving bank. She didn't have $1 million. It's just in a better place. It's safer. It's quieter. It's more comfortable. It's cheaper. Dude. I was just listening to Owen Benjamin talk about Joe Rogan right now. And Joe Rogan was on that apology tour for saying the N-word. It's like, dude, you have all the money in the world, and yet you're still a slave to people that don't care what your language is. They don't care. I mean, the normal people don't care what you say. They don't care. But for some reason, you're still a slave to have to go on this apology tour for words that you spoke that were completely not racist. It's just as stupid. Owen Benjamin's like, that guy, he basically kicked me out of comedy. But who's actually freer? Me with my animals, my wife, and my 4 kids in Idaho? Or this guy with his $100 million Spotify, but he has to make it as an apology tour for saying the N-word? I mean, it's stupid. You're not free. And I'm not free. I mean, YouTube controls me. You guys control me. I get it. Sometimes when the business gets low, I'm like, man, maybe I said something to piss people off. I get it. It's scary. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a hell of a lot freer than have to, basically bow down to DEI and 57 flavors and all this pride crap. You see what I'm saying? Talked to my man at USA the other day. I said, hey, I bet USA's rainbow, pride on the rainbow, aren't they? He goes, yep. And I said, man, it's just all corporate fakery. And yet those are the people that control you. And that doesn't mean you just up and leave. You got to make sure you got financial ducks in a row. But dude, life's too short, man. Life's too short. You're not going to live to your 100. That's just too short. And you can always, again, if things start going bad or worse, you can always get a job digging ditches. And I say that facetiously. There's always work to be done. People still need their yards mowed. Back in the Great Depression, men would just go house to house. Do you need anything done? Anything done? Any labor? You move wood, haul freaking hay, anything. I mean, that might happen again, but it's not now. If it happens again, it doesn't matter that you worked an extra year anyway to save another $25,000 for a bonus. We could. I mean, you could, but you can't prep for that anyway, because we're all going to be in that scenario. You see what I'm saying? And so your extra $25,000 isn't going to save you if we go to a Great Depression where men are going house to house just asking anybody if they can use some work. Anything. I mean, it's crazy. But Josh, you said in your book the Great Depression wasn't a big deal. No, never said it wasn't a big deal. I said for farmers who didn't have debt, they were able to withstand bankruptcy. Did not say it wasn't a big deal. The price of their freaking farming products dropped through the basement floor. That's a fact, and that hurt. But they didn't go bankrupt if they didn't have debt on their farms. That's where the issue is. Saying people didn't go bankrupt is not the same thing as saying they had it easy. If you understand what I'm saying. And Penelope, if you're out there. But my granddad, I get it. Some people had it bad. Farmers didn't. If they did not have debt, they did not go bankrupt. And they didn't have it easy, but they didn't go bankrupt. And they weren't sitting there in the freaking Dust Bowl in Oklahoma. There were some farmers did, what I'm saying. That had nothing to do with the Great Depression. That had to do with the Dust Bowl, so they had to go to California. But people get this thought process, oh my goodness, everybody was on the breadline. Everybody was knocking on doors for food. No, it wasn't. But there were people doing it. I'm not going to lie to you. And there was scarcity. In World War I, we had food rations. That may or may not happen again. But you working an extra year is going to stop. Like, oh man, thank goodness I worked the extra year, Grandma Jones, or else I'd be suffering the Great Depression. It's just not true. Now, if you have a pile of debt, yes, you need to pay that debt off unequivocally. But if you don't have a pile of debt, and you're just worried because you're like, man, dude, Susie Orman and Dave, I don't know what Dave Ramsey says, Susie Orman and Jim Cramer and all these clowns. What are you doing? What? They're killing you. Why are you letting them kill you? Why? All it takes is one girl. She's a teenage girl. She's a rising senior in my two boys with the high school that all four of my kids go to. She's a rising senior there. And she was, she just made a mistake. She wasn't drunk. I hope she wasn't texting. I don't think she was. I just think she didn't get how rapid it closes when you're turning left and this guy's still going forward. And that could have been life-threatening. It was life-threatening, but it could have been deadly. Luckily, it wasn't, because the cars they designed today are a hell of a lot better for that than they used to be. I told her that. I said, man, you're lucky you weren't driving the 70s. In the 70s, the car didn't get totaled. Both these cars would be totaled, but you got totaled. You're totally dead because you took the brunt of the crash. Now the cars do. They fold up on you, but they say you keep you for safety, which is a good regulation, frankly. Anyway, just hope you guys, man. I do worry that there are people I get emails all the time like, Josh, what do you think? I'm like, I can't convince you. I can't. I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to get you to think, what's the rationale for working extra in a crappy old job? Do you really think that's going to make or break you? Do you really think 40 years on the clock, you're not ready, but 41 years you will be? Yeah. All right, love to hear your thoughts. We'll see you.